Hello there. Today I watched the new film Maestro and now I want to tell you about it. It's a biographical drama about the life of Leonard Bernstein, the famous conductor-composer. The story was written by Josh Singer and Bradley Cooper, who also directed the film. The film stars Bradley Cooper as Leonard Bernstein, Carey Mulligan as Felicia Montelegre, and Matt Bomer as David Oppenheim. The story is one long linear tale that follows Felicia and Leonard through their relationship. It starts by introducing us to Leonard shortly before they met, and then shows us the highlights of their relationship over the years. Through these little snippets, we're shown all the different parts of their lives, but it mostly focuses on his struggle with being a closeted gay man and her struggle with being his beard. We're given a complex image of two people and their relationship and told about the life of Leonard Bernstein through that lens. The cast is fairly small, focusing mainly on Leonard and Felicia. There are a few supporting characters in their family and friends, and a few men who rotate in and out as Leonard has affairs with them. Leonard Bernstein is a talented musician and composer who is extremely flamboyant and afraid of being alone. He's so desperate for human companionship that he can't even close the door when he's using the bathroom. He's quite personable and kind, but can accidentally trample over others to satisfy his ambition. Felicia Montelegre is a laissez-faire woman who falls in love with Leonard's artistic mind. She's a good actress and a dedicated mother and wife. She's quite intelligent, a little bit snarky, and quite open-minded toward alternative lifestyles. The visual journey cuts around between different highlights of Leonard and Felicia's life. It starts in color with a flash forward to the ending and then reverts to black and white for the start of Leonard's story. It continues that way until about halfway through his life when it switches to color. The film shows scenes of him leading orchestras, composing music in his free time, a lot of intense conversations between him and his wife, and a lot of small personal moments from both of their lives. Little moments of them contemplating their feelings. The film also switches aspect ratio close to the end to signify a change in the way Leonard was living his life. Sound-wise, the film has original songs and instrumentals. Both are used to build the atmosphere and support the story's emotions. There is also a big focus on Leonard's orchestral performances and his conducting. They perform classical-sounding pieces and we get to watch as Leonard gets swept up in the performance. It gives him a lot of depth of character and helps make him into a more likable person. Okay, so how did they do? The writing is so boring. The story makes sense, even though they tried their damnedest to deliver it in the vaguest way possible, but the characters give you no reason to invest your time. Leonard and Felicia's relationship kind of sucks, and they don't do a good job of drawing you into the drama. There isn't much drama either. It's just passive-aggressive snipes at one another for 30 years. Ironically, when she finally gets sick, Leonard becomes the best version of himself and finally becomes a character worth watching, but it's too little too late. They don't develop any other characters. They don't showcase his music all that often, and they barely focus on anything other than how much he cheated on his wife. It's like reading a gossip magazine, but less interesting. The cast does a good job of playing their characters' emotional journeys, and there are even some big standout moments throughout the film. Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan both play nuanced characters and do a decent job of the emotions when they're called to do them. That said, there isn't enough emotion in the film for either of them to be considered a standout performance. We're just watching two people dance around a topic for a long time before finally blowing up. There's some great subtle emotional work, but only a tiny bit of overt emotion toward the end. Visually, the film looks gorgeous. The sets and costumes are beautifully done to recreate the period and the people as they were. The black and white works well to give an out-of-time feel, and switching to color was a neat way of showing his life changing. The little aspect change at the end was a nice storytelling touch. For standout moments, you had the big conducting scenes and a lot of beautifully done close-up work that showed off some great visuals. They did a fantastic job of catching all those side glances and little moments where characters revealed their inner nature. There was a problem with the visuals though. They struggled with transitioning between scenes and not giving any context for the new scene. They would change periods, locations, and sometimes even characters without a single bit of setup and just launch into it. Sound-wise, the film makes good use of its soundtrack to keep things interesting even when the story isn't. The music is complicated and elegant sounding and adds a lot of layers to the characters. It makes them feel important even when they're not doing anything. The musical performances from Leonard are some of the best moments in the film and probably do the most toward making you like him as a person. It's the only time when he seems alive and interesting. Overall, Maestro is a film about a musical composer that doesn't focus on his musical talent. Instead, it highlights his struggle with his sexual identity and his relationship with his wife. It doesn't give you a reason to care, but it has a pretty looking journey and some nice sounding music behind it. The actors also do a good job of their roles. If that sounds interesting to you, give it a try. As for a rating, I'd give this film a 6 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye-bye.